Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Today most of the talking will be done by you because my throat is not permitting me to talk. I will try. How do we begin? Yesterday the question was raised that we are unable to move from 47 itself. Absolutely a true statement. So how do we find an opening? What is the slogan? You may repeat the slogan. What is the meaning understood by us? In our own language, we need not use technical language.
Swamiji. ஒரு வேலையும் செய்யும் போதும் இது இப்படி முடியணும், இது இப்படி முடியும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு அந்த ரிசல்ட்டை நம்ம மனசுல அது அது இருக்கும் சாமி. அது இருந்துதான் நம்ம அது செய்வோம். ஆனா இந்த ஸ்லோகால நம்ம அதோட ரிசல்ட்டை நம்ம அது எதிர்பார்க்க கூடாது. நம்ம வெறும் அந்த அந்த ஒரு செயலை மட்டும்தான் செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு அதை நம்ம ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்றோம் சாமி. ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணும் போதும் ரிசல்ட் வந்தா கூட இல்லை, அது அப்படி எதிர்பார்க்க கூடாது. இதை மட்டும் நம்ம செய்வோம், அது என்ன வருதோ வரட்டும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம செய்வோம். ஆனால் அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது சப்போஸ் நெகட்டிவாக ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு சொன்னால் கொஞ்சம் பகவான் தான் அப்படி செய்ய வைக்கிறாரு அப்படின்னு அந்த ஒரு இம்பேலன்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஆனால் ஏன் இப்படி ஆயிடுச்சு அந்த மாதிரி ஆனால் அது பரவாயில்ல சாமி. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ட்ராவல் போகும்போதோ அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக அந்த சுச்சுவேஷனே செட்ரேட் ஆயிடுது. இது ஆனால் எவ்ரி டைம் இது ஸ்பான்டேனிட்டியாக நம்ம ஒரு வேலையை செஞ்சிடறோம் சாமி. ஆனால் அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே நம்மளுக்கு இந்த ஒரு ரிமைண்டர் வந்துனே இருந்ததுன்னா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும்.
Correct. We keep trying. Ultimately, we will be able to understand the language only when our submission to our surrender to God becomes complete. That also we should know. As you rightly said, initially nobody will be able to involve in work without expectation. Because right from our childhood we have trained our mind on those lines. Well, naturally it will be there. One fine morning the spiritual preceptor directs us to this 47th shloka where the Lord says your right is only to work, not to the fruits thereof. So, as you said, we keep on trying, but all the time reminding ourselves that everything is made to do by Him. In which case, I will not bother about the result. So that is the ultimate state. Until such time, probably we can devise, as you said, we may expect, even if it doesn't come, okay, God's ways. One thing that strikes to us is, initially we can try this way, that let it not be motivated towards selfish results. Any action with a slight expectation of the result for a wider dimension. That will probably help us. We have to try.
Yes, sir.
Anything that is self-oriented, selfish-minded, anything for our own interest, that expectation we will try to reduce by thinking that so many contributory factors are there for achieving the success which is not in my hands. So I cannot appropriate the whole thing to me. This we have to do it during our past moments. Try to educate our mind on those lines. And then when God puts us into test, we will try. We may fail, doesn't matter. We will try. Later on we also try to look at people who just do for the sake of action. They are not worried about the result. So we try to observe them keenly, if possible, interact with them. When the same dimension is shared with us, with a person who is actually doing it, its impact on us will be much, much greater. Otherwise, as you said, it becomes academic. So there are 3 stages now we discussed. One is a little bit of expectation will be there. But even if we don't succeed, it will not affect us much. Immediately we feel God's ways are there. It must be for good. We reconcile with the situation. We don't make a big fuss about it. Another method is, even if there is a little expectation is there, let it be for a broader segment, not for me and mine. And the third one needs to feel that everything is done by Him. He has provided everything to us. He gave us a sense of individuality to do this. As long as He wants, we will do it. So these 3 options. And we try to look at persons who have implemented this in their life. We don't mean Mahatmas. Ordinary people. Yes, one more dimension is there. If somebody asks us to do some work, some particular line of action, and if to that person we adore him, we respect him, we will not bother about the result. He has asked us to do, we are doing it. There is no prefix or suffix. Because in our heart we know he can't go wrong. And we don't apply our intellect and to analyze everything. Yes, so there are 4 dimensions. Let us all think about it. We may find our own methods. God must have definitely taught us through various experience. Not that every action we do with expectation. Is it becoming clear?
Yes, sir.
To try to get some anecdotes.
Yes, sir.
The other day we were sharing, of course, again it happens to be a Mahatma. When Swami Chinmayanandaji asked everyone to bring rice when they come for the Gita Yajna in 1965, nobody asked any question, no. Nobody asked whether this is raw rice or boiled rice or every day we may be mixing up. Nobody. The intellect is not functioning there. It is for a noble cause and suggested by a great Mahatma. So there is no question of any expectation. We just bring, give. Suppose we start thinking that any prompting that comes, it is coming from him only. Initially we may be a little choosy who is telling. Initially we may be a little choosy who is telling us this. Then afterwards we don't look back. The intellect stops functioning. So from there we can infer that anything that is for the welfare of others, when it is undertaken, the expectation is minimum or it is nil. When it is self-centered, yes, we precondition our mind with those anxieties, uncertainties, so many things come back. So our spiritual journey should enable us to understand this. During that particular moment, it may not strike to us. But during our past moments, we should try to dwell on all these aspects. In the individual level, we had many such experiences from our colleagues from our friends, when they do something, they don't attach any label of expectation. So it is possible. As we used to say, we have to rely on our own experience first. Shastras guide us the theory, but to understand we should go back to our own life experience. Otherwise we may feel it is impossible, impractical. It's a tall order. It is disconnected with the common run of life. Impractical. All those things, the mind will keep on telling us. But suppose we try to understand it through our own life experience. This is what none of us are trying. When we hear something, we treat it at the intellectual level. We should know that when God makes us to go through this particular sloga, He must have given to all of us some experience which we have filed in our memory. But at the moment we don't take pains to dig out and bring it out. God will not give us a theory just like that. Why, our Shastras are the revelations of the evolved ones. It is not a theory they learned from somebody. Whether it is Upanishads, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, whether it is Atma Bodh, Tattva Bodh, Vivek Chudamani, any of Shankara's work, any Shastras for that matter, it is the revelation of the Mahatmas, a output of their efforts, straight from experience, they have shared with us. So now let us keep on hammering this truth to us. When you make us to go through the 47th stanza of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, He must have already given to us many such experiences where this was possible.
சுவாமி, என்னோட ஏதாவது ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் நெகட்டிவாக முடிஞ்சிடுச்சுன்னா டக்குன்னு இந்த ஒரு அர்த்தம் நம்மளுக்கு ரிமைண்டராக வரும்போது பெரிய ஆறுதலாக இருக்கும், பெரிய ஒரு சப்போர்ட்டிவ் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டாக இருக்கும். மட்டும் அது அப்படிதான் மட்டும் நம்மளுக்கு அது ரிமைண்டராக வந்துன்னே இருக்கிறதே பகவானோட அருள் நினைச்சு.
ஆமாம், நம்ம லைஃபுக்கே திரும்பி பார்க்கணும். Then only a stage will come when we will not put this label of negative. For a short time it will be there. Then it gets dissolved, like a line drawn on a surface of the water. Immediately the leveling up goes on and you are back to serenity. Initially there will be, but in the shortest possible time, He will help us to gain back. So to bring in that God dimension, that is the final answer to this. Until such time we can keep on trying. First one is that all our actions, even if we expect something in our action, let it be for the benefit of a wider dimension. Second thing is, so there are so many factors that have contributed for my success, So I cannot appropriate to myself alone. This also we keep on. And then third one, when a person whom we admire or respect, when he says something, we will not think about the action, is it not? Huh? We will not think about the action. We will initiate that action straight. Fourth one is, we are trying to educate our mind that whatever is happening only by his will. And he knows how to. Anandashram Satsang, yesterday we said, no? We don't have to preserve anything. He knows how to think. Fourth dimension. And even if a slight expectation is there, we go back to our fifth dimension is, we should honestly believe that before God makes us to go through a statement or a theory, He would have definitely given some experience to us about which we are unaware of. So we try to dig out. When we are in a sober moment, it requires a little bit digging, mining, Nobody will come and offer us in a platter. It is our own experience. So we have to go back. Got it?
One more point that shloka also comes into, it is interwoven. I think that when we start with that, and then we know that he is there for us, then the question of result will not come. We always remember, yes, whatever is, we are into it, we are in this project, the outcome will not be there, but he is there for us.
Yes, that's also right. Ultimately, one will be able to accept this in letter and spirit only when we feel that God is behind everything. So, side by side with dealing all these things, we should be able to develop this. It is not a one-time affair or a two-time affair. We have to keep on trying. Wi-Fi will come and go. But we keep on trying, So we feel that it is normally every action is result oriented. But even if we put the paste of result oriented, it doesn't matter if it is trying to serve so many people. We used to wonder, especially in late 70s, early 80s, when we were reading Vision, Mataji's call to have Nam Japa for Vishwa Shanti. From 2000 crores, how she stepped up. And finally, she fixed the target as 15,500 crores. Papa used to say, don't count. If you start counting, your attention will be on the count. Mataji says, you count and give us the figure. The tussle was going on. Why this? Then later, our own, from inner, this thing, we get an answer from our own. Both are right. In order to put ourselves on the habit of chanting, we must have a target. So Mataji has fixed a target, so we will also have a target. 1 mala a day, 2 malas a day, 5 malas a day. And what happens? After some time, automatically, you will be able to honor the commitment made by you to yourself. Because we have a greatest respect for Mataji's words. And now, to Papa's words, okay, when you have a sankalpa of 2 or 3 or 4, it doesn't mean we should stop with that. During the rest of the time when we chant, we don't have to count. So both are, one thing is that my mind is getting trained, just like I get up in the morning, I take the brush and go to the wash basin without even my prompting. Or I go to the toilet, or I go for bath. Everything, it is set in a daily routine. Similarly, Nama chanting also becomes a daily routine with the target given by Mataji. At the same time, I should know, this chanting is not for counting. Chanting is for remembrance. Remembrance of what? Remembrance that he is behind even the chanting. Final stage. So then we find a reason that even a target may be there, but there no self-interest is involved. For Vishwa Shanti, when the Vishwam is giving everything to me, I should contribute in some other way. I have no other way to do that, excepting in my own field I can bring it. Plus, I can pray for the Vishwa Shanti through offering 1 mala or 2 mala or 3 malas. So it is not result-oriented action, though apparently it is a target-oriented activity. Start thinking, no? Then we don't see it is paradoxical. Otherwise it doesn't look. Many devotees used to ask Mataji herself. We were told in Papa's time, everybody would be asked to write, and he used to sign the book. To begin with, at least for the sake of getting a signature from such a evolved person like Papa, you will start writing, Unfortunately to us, we stopped with that. That's all. It was initiating us into remembering God and to know that He is behind everything. But initially, Papa gives a talk, and you may not be able to understand it. That is why when everybody comes here, they will start hearing the Nama. That is the first step. Then it will slowly lead. Outcome of it will be something which cannot be explained, a pleasant feeling welling up in our mind. So think about all these things. 47th sloka, then probably we may make it practically, yes. Initially the jerk will be there. With expectation we initiate something, it doesn't click. There will be disappointment, there will be a shock. But within the shortest possible time, if we are doing this manana during our past moments, it will be the so-called disturbance will be like a line drawn on a sheet of water. For a moment there is vibration, but again it becomes leveled up. We have to keep on trying, Probably we may get some more dimension. When we ask, we should also go to the 18th chapter where the Lord says, I have given you all these. Now you do your own, Yathechasi tata kuru. Not that we accept it as a dictum or a dogma, but we try to go through it in terms of our own experience. And then act. इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातं गुह्याद् गुह्यतरं मया 63 विमुषैत्यदशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा गुरु. This secret of secrets I have given to you. You now do the manana, then whatever you feel like, you do it. It is not reserved for everything. It is to be applied in every stanza. Yathechasi tatha kuru. English version.
Swamiji,
Ah.
chapter number 10, sloka number 2.
Wait. We are on something.
Wait, only 63, 18th chapter 63, Swamiji is going to read. Please wait.
Because what are we to do with all the stanzas which we have done? Are we to just go through it intellectually and keep quiet? इति ते ज्ञानम् आख्यातम् गुह्याद् गुह्यतरं मया विमृश्यै तद् अशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु. Thus has wisdom more profound than all profundities been declared to you, reflecting over it fully, act as you like. It applies to all the 12 or 13 stavagas which we have done. Sri Krishna says, I have communicated to you jnanam. It actually means philosophy, wisdom. The English word philosophy also means wisdom. I have communicated to you the lamp of knowledge with which you can find your way. That is the nature of jnana. In ajnana or ignorance, we commit blunders. In darkness, we fall into pits. If there is jnana or light, we don't fall into any pit. And so what you seek is jnana, the light of knowledge. Iti te jnanam akyatam. Guhyad guhyataram maya. I have communicated to you the profoundest of all knowledge. Guhya means highly profound. Vimarshyait tad. Asheshena yadhechasi. Here comes the great teacher's mind. Try to think over what I said and decide for yourself your course of action. This is what Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, sir. Please, not to just read and learn by heart and reproduce. A wonderful, profound message for all of us. Whenever we are prompted to take up an in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita, it applies to everything. Here, in clear-cut terms, he says, try to think over and decide for yourself your course of action. The teacher does not dictate what the student should do. A good teacher can tell you what is right and what is wrong, what is true and what is false, and make your mind grasp these ideas. Then it is left to you to take your own decisions. There is no compulsion. That is real philosophy. No kind of sermonizing or forcing people to accept a code of conduct. Highly cultured people need only a little understanding of things. They know how to decide for themselves. Therefore, Sri Krishna uses this wonderful expression, as you think proper, you do. So here we have the idea of teaching at the highest level of Indian spiritual education. A teacher will first of all not teach unless somebody asks for it, number one. Simple gratis advice is not given in spiritual life. We must ask for it, we must seek it, otherwise it has no value. So here in this verse we can see this idea. And in the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter we see the counterpart. There Arjuna is telling, please throw some light. Arjuna is telling Sri Krishna, please throw some light on my problem. I want your help, I want your guidance, I am your student. Karpanya dosho maghata svabhava. I have become confused or broken down by narrow attachments and aversions. Dharma sammuda chetaha. So he asked for guidance. I am your student. Second chapter, 7. That is the beginning of Teacher, Bhagavad Gita. There are 6 verses even before that particular verse. And all the verses of the first chapter are also Gita. But the actual teaching portion begins only from the 7th verse of the second chapter. A teacher begins to teach only when he or she finds the student prepared to listen and accept. That is why in all Indian spiritual tradition we find that when one goes to the teacher, he or she does not talk about these great matters. Unless we are serious about it and unless we put a question and wait for an answer, the teacher will talk about the weather and such other matters. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is a masterly Upanishad and Shankaracharya's commentary on it is also masterly. There he says, Shastram Nyapakam Natu Karakam. Shastra or science is only informative, not forcing on you. It is not Karakam. It merely says this is the truth. You try to live it according to your own inclination. Modern science will say this is the nature of health. Such foods will help you, give you good health. Such foods will not give you health. That is Nyapakam. But science does not force you to take this food or that food. So all knowledge is Nyapakam only. Information gives you knowledge about a subject. Then your impulse will convert it into action. Good, bad or indifferent. So here Sri Krishna gives that freedom to a student to deal with the communicated knowledge in the way the student desires or thinks proper. That is the meaning of this great verse. So this should be there in our heart. Initially when we hear the meaning, it may be difficult for us to implement, no doubt. We have not applied our mind on those lines. But it's a new philosophy, wisdom coming. Because it is coming from the top. We revere it, we respect it, we have faith in it. Though we find it difficult to implement in our this thing, we don't close the book and go away. We may even pray, kindly throw me some more light. So the 12 or 13 slokas which we think we have dwelt upon it, we may kindly view it with this angle. Practical side. Yatechasi tatha guru. Every statement, we have to understand it with that background. Because the receptivity changes, from person to person. Discourse is going on, lot of people may be attending it. But if you try to analyze what is the ultimate result of this, only very few people will be able to assimilate. Because unless we sufficiently prepare ourselves, we cannot assimilate, absorb those sublime teachings. Very subjective, So Bhagavad Gita can be understood only with this attitude. We read, we try to understand, we go a little deeper, we try to tally with our own experience. We start trying, we may fail, but perseverance, patience, because we have faith in the words of the masters. Think. Yathechasi tata guru. It's a beautiful. So when he says your right is to work only, we try to understand it through our own experience. Spontaneously you are prompted to ask something. You do it and keep quiet, bas. That stage we should reach. Today I cannot do it. Because I have not surrendered to him totally. I am prompted to do something, I do. That stage I should reach, Now think I am not in a position to do it. It will not be possible. We have never applied this in our life. Because our rights and wrongs and our likes and dislikes, they predominate. Anything and everything, we have got our own evaluation. That is how we have been leading this life. To give in another dimension, when somebody says, yes, it has got relevance. So we have to do some plumbing from going deep within. Lot of mananam is necessary. Because everything has come out only after mananam. We cannot understand otherwise. That with which the eyes see, but with which it cannot be seen, know that I am. How can you understand unless we do some mananam? That power, because of which the eyes see, that power cannot be seen with the eyes, The power behind the seeing cannot be seen with the eyes. So you keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper and then find, it is correct. Otherwise we are mugging up. We are learning it by heart and reproducing it. So we have to go through, we approach every sloka, with this perspective. Kindly unfold before me, I am unable to understand. Then the sloka says, you go deep. You have to remove the covering. The unfoldment should take place in you. That is the job of the Shastras. Give us a seed of thought or a food for thought, and then we try to see the latent one. The creativity in the seed, if the seed is kept on the table, it will not sprout. But the creative power is there. Then I should put it in a moist soil, protect it, water it, mulch it, and then after 7 or 8 days it breaks and comes out. Exactly, the slokas are like that. Unless we do the backup, it will not get unfolded before us. It will be just like a seed kept on the table. It will not sprout by itself. That is why we unknowingly slip into this academics. We are satisfied by chanting it. Okay, that gives some joy. But far from it, the real purpose should be to dive deep within. All the commentaries that we are reading, it has all come from Manana only. And each one differs from another. Because each one's style of digging or trying to unfold it is different, unique. So I cannot be satisfied with reading the commentaries. I must do by myself. Yadechasi tatha kuru. You do it in your own way. So in the 47th chapter, we were able to do that. 4 or 5 dimensions came just because of this digging. This is how we should do it. Initially the mind will say it is difficult. Yes, difficult. We have not done so far. Every action, knowingly or unknowingly, we have a target, we have a result. The expectation is there. So one fine morning, if Lord Krishna says, your right is only to act, difficult for us. So we try to go again and again, go through it, and then bring out these 4 or 5 or 6 dimensions, and then try in our own field, and then come out. Yes, 47 is possible. 48 is possible. 49 is possible, like that. Is that clear?
Yes, Swami.
Nobody else is saying.
It is clear, Swami. Clear, Swami. Manana is Swami. Manana.
అర్థమైందా?
అర్థమైంది స్వామీజీ, అర్థమైంది. But
समझ गया?
very difficult స్వామీజీ. అయినా కానీ ప్రయత్నం వల్ల చేర్చుతాడు. ఆ ప్రయత్నం వల్లే ఇంత దూరం రాగలిగిన స్వామి.
So we should keep on trying. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Provided we pay the price for it. Each one has a price tag that we have to give. That aptoktim khananam, in Vivek Chudamani, we have to do the khananam. We have to do the mining. It will come. From the surface, if we say it should come, it will not come. We have to pay the price. So we pray to Him who has prompted us to take up this, who is holding our hands and moving from selected slogas, one from another. We don't want any target to be covered, but if you are taking one sloga, let it get grounded in me. And the grounding can come only when you make me aware of the experiences you gave me. Without knowing it, I have observed it. I have accepted it. Now, with this sloga, you make me to become aware of it. Then I become aware that 47 is possible for me. For each sloga, so we have to close and go back to our own life and see for ourselves. Either by observing in somebody's life are going through in our own life. I think that will do today. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Namaskaram, Namaskaram.